What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new episode of the Point After Podcast. Today, I'm joined by former Arkansas State quarterback, current Utah State transfer Logan Bonner. Is that correct? Logan, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, awesome. So you just finished up your fourth season at Arkansas State. Grad transferred to Utah State.
Right.
So I checked out a couple of your career stats. You got like 3,000 yards passing, a little over 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So pretty good stat line. What was it like playing at Arkansas State and playing in the Sun Belt? Is that the right conference?
Yeah, Sun Belt. Yeah.
It
was good. I enjoyed my time. I was recruited there out of high school, obviously, and I just loved Coach Anderson and everybody there. I loved the atmosphere of the town and stuff like that. And I sat a couple of years behind a two-time Sun Belt MVP of the league, Justice Hansen at quarterback. And then when I got my time in 2019 to start, I thought I played pretty well. I had about 1,100 yards in 4 games and 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. And so I just got hurt. I tore my a ligament in my thumb the first game against SMU, and I kind of just played through it. And then I eventually needed surgery after the 4th game, so that ended my season. But it was fun, man. I enjoyed it. I loved that place, and it will always be a second home in my heart.
Yeah, so you talk about having a love for Arkansas State. I'm assuming your love also correlates to Coach Anderson, who you have followed to Utah State. What's your relationship like with him?
Yeah, we're really close. For the first couple of years, he coached me when he was coaching quarterbacks, and I was always at his house with the quarterbacks, and we got really close, and we've been through a lot. I mean, I was really good friends with his wife that passed last year or 2 years ago. I was really close to her, and we got to know each other really well, and I just helped him get through that process. It just as like he helped me get through the loss of my grandma and stuff like that. So we're really close, and we've always been probably the closest on the team, more than other guys on the team, and just because probably he was my coach for a while, and we just grew together the 5 years we were there.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's always good to have player. The main question that a lot of coaches get are they, or that a lot of players get about coaches is that coach a player's coach, or is he kind of do it your way kind of thing? So it's good to hear that you have a good relationship. I had a good relationship with my wide receiver coach, where I probably talked to him more than I did my teammates at some points. So I can relate to that. Well, tell me about this, your Arkansas State experience. Take me through a day in the life as a Arkansas State quarterback, kind of when you wake up to when you go to bed. You can include meetings, class, or whatever you want to throw in there.
Well, I graduated in 2019 in December. So really this last year was wake up, go to eat breakfast, probably like 7:30.
You cut out on me.
Sorry, my mom called me.
Hi, you good?
So I basically woke up at 7:30 every morning, went to go eat, and then just went straight to the facility. I mean, I was a grad student, so it was all online. So I'd stay at the facility from like 8 to 12 and go eat lunch and watch some film and stuff like that. And the facility, talk to coaches about the game plan or whatever we had that week, and then I go eat lunch and I come back, get taped, get ready for practice, stretch, and all that stuff. And then we had 2:30 meetings as a team, and then we had special teams and stuff like that, and we would go to practice at 4, and then from 4 to 7 we'd be practicing, and then we get done at 7. We'd lift right after practice, and then we'd be done at like 8:30, and we go eat, and then I'd basically go to bed. That's basically my everyday life right there.
Yeah, so it's basically a full-time job, and I think that's a lot of things that people don't realize is, I played D3, and even for me, it was a 12-hour day schedule, so I can only imagine what it's like for yourself and other FCS and FBS players across the country. Well, this year was obviously a little bit different with COVID being around and stuff, so, compare, we'll say, years past to this year. Was it a big obstacle to kind of in your head know that you couldn't really hang too close with teammates or spend too much time around them? Was it like a thing you had to think about, or was it eventually by the end of the season just kind of come second nature?
It was tough, man. I think that it was hard because we had spring ball early, earlier than most people in the country. So we had it early this year, and it was like February, like middle of February. So we pretty much got through spring ball 100%. Then we had one practice left, and we were literally hearing about all this stuff shut down. And then we were getting ready for practice, and we were in the team meeting, and then our AD came in there, hey man, shut it down. And we didn't. We were like, oh, okay, shut it down for a couple of days. No, we didn't. We really had no idea what was going to happen, and I don't think anybody did. So we thought we were just going to be finish our spring game here in a couple of days later, but they told us to go home. So we were home for 3 months. Couldn't do anything, couldn't live on campus or anything like that. So everybody was away from each other. Normally we had that whole off season to do that, and we never really got to do that. And then the summer, guys came back. Some guys came back. Some guys weren't comfortable coming back. So we literally had half the team back the whole summer, and they were trying to work out by themselves and keep up with everything. And then when we got back to fall camp, it was tough, man. We had to get tested 3 times a week. If you had to stay away from each other, you couldn't hang around like you wanted to. Our workout groups were only 4 people per workout group, not like the whole offense and defense. So it was weird. It was hard to build relationships with the newer guys that just came in, the high school kids and stuff like that. And it was hard to adjust to that. And then obviously you had to get tested every week, and you never knew if our game was going to get canceled because guys would pop. I mean, when we beat Kansas State, we were feeling really good. We beat Kansas State with 8 or 9 starters out. I mean, the whole O line was basically out. And then all 4 linebackers were out, I think, except for like one. And we beat them. We felt really good about ourselves. And then we got tested the next week, and 70% of our team, I'm not going to give you a number, but a lot of people almost tested positive. So then we were out for like 2 weeks. We canceled 2 games, and then it was just crazy. And they're like, are we going to play again? And it was just wild, man. And every week we had to get tested, and it wasn't very fun, for sure.
Yeah, I bet. That's crazy. I mean, y'all still were able to play 11 games somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, man. I think I looked at the schedule, and there was like 15 total games on there. 3 were postponed, 1 canceled.
Yep.
So I can only imagine, bro. That would be crazy. And something I was talking to Kyle about earlier today is for those, you touched on the freshmen coming in, not being able to really associate with anybody, kind of having to, be distanced. Everything they experienced this year really won't even translate to next year or at least 2022 season. So it's like, they're going to come in and have their freshman experience, and then they're basically going to get a brand new experience next year when, contact tracing and not having to get tested every day and things like that. So I think that's pretty crazy too.
It's wild, man. It's a different time. I was lucky enough or not lucky enough, but I actually didn't tested positive probably the last week of fall camp. And so I missed that week. And then I came back I think 3 or 4 days before we played Memphis, the first game. So I didn't have to test for the whole season. So I didn't have to test again, but because of the protocol. But obviously I didn't have any symptoms or anything like that. But it was wild, man, just seeing my teammates get tested every day. It sucked. Watch them do that.
Yeah, I bet. And I find it interesting to kind of see what each school had, the different precautions and different safety measures and things like that each team had to go with.
It's crazy. It also depends on your like athletic your building. I mean, a lot of guys have a smaller buildings. Like we have a brand new complex, so we have a lot of space, and so like our meeting rooms weren't really changed. We just had spaced out meeting rooms. But I mean, if we were in our old complex, we would not have half the meetings we had because it was a lot smaller and stuff like that. So we were really fortunate to be a part of the new facility that we got last year, and it really helped us out in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now I'm going to get into your play in a little bit. What kind of offense did you guys run? What kind of offense have you ran in your career throughout high school, college? And then what would you consider your favorite style?
Yeah, we really run the spread, a lot of RPO stuff, and stretching the field vertically and horizontally. I've ran that in high school, and that was one of the reasons why I like Coach A so much is the fact that he ran that offense in college. So that's basically all I've ran. We go under center a little bit, um, but we really run an up tempo offense. Have certain plays dialed up and certain coverages we like, and we can run fast as fast as possible and get the defense tired and run them side to side and make plays and make explosive plays. I think that's one thing about our offense is that A-State ran and that we're going to run at Utah State is the fact that the explosive plays, if you look at our drives, every time we scored, there's at least one explosive play. And then when we didn't score, there wasn't any explosive plays on that drive. So I think that's really key for our offense coming up this year is making explosive plays, and it's really effective on defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, myself playing wide receiver in college, I love the spread. I played in the spread. I actually played in the air raid under Coach Hal Mummy for one season before he left to go to the AAF. So I was able to spend 1 year with him, and then after he left, we had a new system come in, and it was more pro style with a little bit of spread mixed in. But yeah, so I love seeing a lot of points scored. I love seeing the ball thrown around. So I'll definitely be watching a lot of Utah State this year.
For sure,
watching you and Kyle play for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll finish with this. I kind of touched on it a little bit before we got going here. What is your favorite stadiums that you've played in other than Arkansas State? You know, obviously you played a lot of games there. So what's your favorite road game day experience? And then are you excited to play on blue turf up in Idaho at Boise State?
So there's two really big ones I played in. I was a redshirt sophomore, and I played the second half against Alabama when it was their first game after the national championship win. That was cool. I really didn't play the whole game though, so I would say that the craziest and wildest game, like atmosphere wise, and the coolest place to play was probably Georgia. In 2019, I played the whole game, started, and it was kind of cool the fact that Coach A just lost his wife, so the whole stadium wore pink for breast cancer. So like they want pretty much the whole stadium was pink for 95,000 people. So that was pretty special. They did a whole thing about Coach A and stuff like that, and it was really special to him. And it was a rocking crowd, and it was fun. I mean, I got beat up a lot. Obviously, they're pretty good, but no, I think that was the coolest place to play, especially the experience of they were so nice and about the breast cancer and him losing his wife. That they all wore pink and stuff like that. So that was probably the coolest moment and the coolest stadium I've ever played in.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that whole. I remember watching game day, like
ESPN special.
Yeah, all of it, man. I remember that whole day. I remember standing in my kitchen in my living room, like watching that game, watching the Georgia fans wear pink, the game day special and all that. Now I do have one question for you. Arkansas State versus Alabama, you touched on. Was that in 2017 where Saban chewed Lane Kiffin's butt in the fourth quarter?
Was it 2017? It was 2019. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, 2018. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm lost on that one. I think I know. I played the second half, but it was their first home game. They played Louisville with Tua starting.
Okay, got you.
So they played Louisville first in Camping World in Orlando, and then they played us second at home.
I went to the Arkansas State game, the game I just mentioned where Saban chewed Lane's butt. I was at that game, and I was thinking for a second that it may have been the game you played, but I was like, my timeline wasn't.
Well, we only played them once, so it must have been that game.
It may have been. Yeah, maybe my days.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, no. I think it's 2018, I think. Yeah. 2017 we played Nebraska, and we should have won.
Got you. Well, I think that's about.
Oh, you said the blue turf.
Oh yeah, Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I'm excited to play them in general. I know they're a really good team, but we played Coastal Carolina. They're in our conference, and they obviously had a great year, this year. But they have a similar turf. It's teal. It's not really dark blue. It's teal, and it's very weird when you get out there. But they had a good year, and it was fun to play on that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to play Boise State and everybody in the conference. I think it's a really good conference, and I'm really excited about the competition.
Yeah, there's a lot of Group of 5 schools out there that are really good. A lot of good conferences that don't get the recognition that they should get. I don't really know what the right word here is, but they're better than everyone makes them out to be. I mean, you look at Cincinnati this year, losing to Georgia by 1 on the last-second field goal. I don't count the safety.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, like you said, the Coastal Carolina game, I think that was 38-31, something like that. That was a very high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm definitely going to be keeping tabs on you and Kyle Mayberry this season. I appreciate you taking the time to touch base with me, and maybe we can catch up sometime during the season or closer to the season and see how things are going.
That sounds good. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And again, this is Logan Bonner, the former Arkansas State quarterback, transferred to Utah State and will be playing there in the fall of 2021.